everyone, and welcome back to Part 9 of Battlestar Galactica's Cylon Basestar. Today we're going to start adding some Greeblies on the inside center there to give some detail and to hide that seam where the two saucers glued together. The 30th anniversary kit actually comes with those added parts to give the more accurate detail, but we're just going to make up something of our own in there just to kind of give it some detail in there, and definitely break up that seam line, which would be hard to fix that deep into the ship. So let's check it out. Okay, welcome back. Right now I have the stand fitting. So I found a rod that I like. Actually, this is just temporary. I'm gonna go, I think, a little shorter. I think she's sitting up a little too high. I think I'm going to go a little, maybe get her down to here. Enough that you can still see underneath, but I think it's just sitting up too high. Here's my old stand. I got a Hobby Lobby's, that I was using for painting the Enterprise refit 350. That way you can have her on something and could spray her without being on her actual stand. But I can get another one. It'll work good for this. I'll sand it up and then we'll paint it up, make it look good. So it's threading into that nice. It's threading into the Starbase really good. So right now I just temporarily have these just sitting on there. Just did a light test. Yeah, all the lights are working wonderfully. Got to go through and still do all the fiber optics here, especially back in here, so I can put those little pieces. So I can put these little guys, and they go up in here, like so. That gives it a lot of detail. Hair stuck there. There we go. So that'll give it a lot of detail, and then I'm gonna hit it with that Tester's light gray, just a mist to kind of tone down the contrast of the blue, white, and the dark gray. Do that a lot on like Star Destroyers and stuff, or the Falcon. I did that where it was a red spot panel, and you give it a mist, and it totally blends it in nice and makes it look like it's been light chips and stuff like that. But there's a nasty seam inside here. If anybody's built this kit knows exactly what I'm talking about. Now the newer kit will actually have pieces that go in there. They have doors that go right where I drilled the holes for my Cylon garage doors, I guess you could say, or hangar bay doors. They had a piece that went right in there. That went from top to bottom. That kind of closes that gap, and then it gave you the door opening, which you could, if you had that kit, you could just drill a hole where that door opening is going to be, and then there's your opening. And then it has like big detailed pieces right in these spots where the trenches aren't, and that would probably hide all the seam work on the newer version of this kit. But this older version has no detail. It's pretty much flat wall. So we're going to make some detail, and from here, the detail they have inside between these parts that are in the trenches are quite detailed, and I don't think I have anything that could replicate any of that, because it's like a whole mechanism by looking at the box here photo. And if I had more Greeblies, and especially at least 5 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it would work, but I don't. So we'll come up and make up something that'll hide the seam. I mean, I can get in there and try to putty that seam and then try to paint, but it'd be a real pain in the ass to sand. That's the main thing, and to get it nice and smooth. I did a couple coats of surface primer to fill it in, and it worked pretty good, but still, you're going to see a line, and in some spots it's not as nice as others. So I thought, what could I do to kind of add detail plus at the same time hide those lines? And I was just going to use a thin strip of styrene that I hear from evergreen. But, and that would work. It would work great. It'd give me a, just cover the seam. It'd give me a, like at least a detailed bar going all the way around. But then I was thinking, you know, I keep all my old photo etch because they come with extras and they come with stuff you may not use. A lot of times they come with extras, or you know, I can even just cut like little weird shapes off of here. You know, where a piece came out. You know, you could cut that little weird shape there and make that a panel. You know, that one right there. Or you can take this piece here and make it a something. You know, or I can actually cut, you know, stuff out of all this weird, almost like a sprue for a photo etch, you know. But this one, you know, here has some cool details. This one here doesn't have anything really to it. But this is the Falcon gun port photo etch from Paragraphics, so I might use some of these little panels, these little squares that were for panels on the Falcon. They're pretty much a square with an X in it, but in the center of that X is like a circle. So those I might put here and there on the actual trench areas. So that's what I'm thinking there. Then I have this photo etch from the cargo hold. This here was for if you wanted to light the pit. If you made the maintenance pit that Han has the tool tray fall on him when asteroid hits, and he goes, that wasn't a laser blast. These are for that. Inside the trench on the upper lip, you put them there, and then you can have the bluish light come through there. I did my lighting a little different, so I didn't use this piece because I used a 3D printed trench that gave me all the detail that, you know, you saw in all the piping and all that conduits and stuff that were in there, and it already had molded in those little lights going all the way around, so I did it that way. So I could use this for something. I was thinking it has like 3 opens, and then it has like a bend area where it allows the photo etch to bend, and then it has this smaller section that's like a 2 opening. And I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. Let's see if I can get it in the light. You have the 3 opening one, and then you have the 2 opening. But this smaller one I can get and fit inside there for some little detail. So like on one half of the saucer I could put maybe that little section there. You know, maybe going down, and on top maybe I can add like that on the upper, and then flip them around so they're, you know, random. So it's not just, you know, ones on the one bottom half and one on the other. But when I'm going to wrap the whole seam that goes all the way around from the 2 halves coming together, I have a photo etch for the Katinga lighting kit from Polar Lights. This is photo etch that comes with that lighting kit. It gave you extra detail for, you know, the front of the hull, like pieces like that, and all those little detail parts are on the front of the hull where the neck attaches. But it also gave you the lighting holes that wrap around the front of the Cobra head. I used the bigger one, but I didn't like the little ones because it actually filled in the gap. Because if you know, familiar with the Katinga's front part there, they actually recess in, and if you put this photo etch in, it actually makes it flush, and it kind of ruins that detail. A lot of people don't like this bigger one because it actually bumps it out, but I kind of like that bump out. It gave it more of that detail that the ship has all over those raised panels. But I didn't want to raise those trenched in lights, so I never used these. I just used what was there, and the light came through fine. But this is the perfect thickness to go inside that trench. So what I'm going to do, that goes all the way around, I'm going to have to use both of them. So I'll wrap them around. I'll have to cut the one because 2 of them together are going to be too long. But I'll lay the one in, and I'll put the other one, measure it, cut it, and put that in. And that'll give some detail with the window holes and stuff like that. You know, there's not going to be any light coming through them, but it'll kind of give it that weird raised panel and just give something for your eye to see in there. So I think that'll work. I'm hoping. We're going to give it a try. And then there's these little sconce lighting. Now I went and got 3D printed sconce for the Falcon's cargo holds and their hallways. There's those, you know, sconces that are in those tubular tunnels in the Falcon, hallways in the Falcon. They had this where you can make your own sconces up. You have this photo etch part, and then I think you cut a piece of tube hollow styrene to give it that cone shape. You glue it right onto this little circular piece that they give you, and they give you a lot of them because there is a lot of sconces in the hallway. If you remember, here's a picture of the Falcon, those sconces that are in the hallway. There's C-3PO. But yeah, you had to actually add a piece of 3mm, I think it was, tubing, and cut it, you know, by 3mm or something like that. And it would give you that almost cone shape, and then if it's a hollow tube, the light would still come through the center. So you kind of made up a sconce like that. But they work great for detail on something. So I might place them in areas in here to add some detail. And I don't know if I'll do anything else to it. I think that'll be suffice, you know. And this will hide the seam all the way around, and then then the rest of it's just adding some detail to these non-detailed areas in the trenches. So, and then I'll use these to fill in some detail in the non-trenched areas, these areas. So that's my thoughts. Hopefully it'll work. It's not going to be completely accurate, or accurate at all, but it'll, you know, without spending hours and hours of trying to scratch build what they used here, you know, that would be yeah, no way. But I think that'll kill a lot of birds with one stone, give some type of detail in that trench. You know, and most people are just going to kind of be browsing, and when the light's dark and those blue lights are glowing out of there, you're not going to see a lot of it anyway. But just for my own sake, just to know it's there, and looking in, you know, when it is daylight and the lights are off, I think that'll work. So that's pretty much, I think, what I want to hit next. And then I just got to hit the little blue details on the ends here. Like I said, I think on the picture they show like a blue spot here, and then on the next one it has a blue spot here, and then the next one it has it on this. I'm probably going to do like, I think Boyd from Trekworks, if I was looking at his, I remember, and I like how that looks. He did just all 3 detailed blue parts on each section, and I think I'm going to do that just to give it some more than just one little blue dot down there, and a blue dot in a different area, and a blue square in a different area. I think that will look the best to me instead of this random. There's enough randomness going on up here, and it'll be the reverse kind of thing on the other side. But I think I want to try to get that seam there, and then I'm gonna go through and do the blue detail, and then we can start gluing this permanently together. And that'll be great. That's where we're at, so I figured I'd give you an update. And yeah, I'll probably come back when this is all done. We'll do an update on what it looks like. I'm probably gonna pre-paint all this stuff and then put it in. It's gonna be hard to paint, and especially to get this misting from way out here, and then I might hit those windows. I don't want to do that either. So those hangar bay doors that I made. So, but that's where we're at. That's what we're gonna do. So when I return for the next video, we'll see what it looks like. Till then, thanks for modeling. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. When I come back in the next video, we will have all that done, and I'll give you an update, and we'll take a look and take it from there. Thanks for watching.